Hi, welcome. So I thought I would do another creative reading. They seem to be my favorite, and I feel like the most messages come through the creative readings. And so, figured why not? Let's just dive right in and get started. Um, so again, this is a general reading. Take what applies to you. Always use your own logic, intuition, discernment when making decisions and listening to these readings and messages, and just be open-minded to context and timing as it's different for everyone. Let's past, passing, coming to be, and take things out of context, apply them to whatever it is you're working on or wondering about, needing clarity on, and just see what happens. So I'm going to just pull from a bunch of different decks. I have my globe. I finally remembered to bring it upstairs, and I actually got a little dry erase board. So we're going to do I Ching, but we're going to actually use coins, and I'm going to show you guys how to do an I Ching reading with coins, and so anyone can do it, as long as you have 3 pennies or 3 coins. So let's just start out with 3 swords, three. And I pulled 3 runes as well. I'll show them to you now. I don't remember the names of a lot of the runes usually. So this, though, I think is man or something like that, or seed, or I think it means man, or ing. And second one that came out was, because I asked, what do I need to know for this reading, or what would help bring clarity to the other messages, and this is the rune of the unknown. It's a blank rune, and this is something having to do with constraint, so probably try to limit this message, make it a little shorter, but so I'll put links for those below as well, and you can see as an experiment if any of these messages align with that. So let's get a foundational card to start out. 10 of Wands. Saturn and Sagittarius. Again, this is like usually having a lot of ideas, a lot of things going on, maybe feeling a little burdened or guilty sometimes. Maybe you feel like you're just overwhelmed with whatever it is that you're working on. Carrying a lot on your back, getting to that finish line. So maybe you're finishing things up and wanting to start fresh with something, wondering how to make that transition, because this is a transitional card. It's 10, reduces down to 1, so it's a tweener card, and it's the end of a cycle, beginning of a new one. It's all that time in between where you're just sort of trying to figure out how to transition and maneuver what you've been working on into the next thing, the next project. Saturn and Sagittarius, it's kind of, if you're around the age of 28 to like 30 something, 31, 32, probably been going through your Saturn return, and Saturn return was in Sagittarius. So everyone was like really worried about how that would go for Sagittarius, is because it's Saturn is kind of the opposite of Sagittarius energies. Very structured, disciplined, which is why I feel like very structured when it comes to creative type things. Work really hard with that, but it's a little bit different than what most people typically can, think of as far as work. But Saturn return, so it kind of is one of those times in your life, and you usually go through it like 2 or 3 times, depending on how long you live. But around 30 and around 60, where the unnecessary is kind of taken away. All these lessons you've gone through in the last 30 years, it's kind of, you can tell, it's kind of like it's different for everyone depending on where you have Saturn in your chart. I had in create where all my planets are, so it was like learning discipline, structure, and to all those different areas, energies. It'd be interesting maybe for you to find out, maybe it would answer some questions, because it's usually kind of a difficult time, but it's like, I don't know, it's like discipline work in certain areas. So Okay, so let's see. Starting over, starting fresh with something having to do with wands, creativity, fire, energy. Maybe the 10th house, also career. One more card from this deck. Peace. This is the Two of Swords. The background reminds me of paper planes or origami, so maybe like folding, patterning, shapes, silhouettes, things like that. Yeah, that's why I have MIA's paper planes there. Just the crossing, it's like at crossroads, it's decision time, it's connection, connecting two thoughts, two ideas, two words, 2 days. This is the moon in Libra. I don't even have any idea where my phone is. So I was going to look up what okay, maybe I should pull 2 more cards. Where the moon is tonight, I don't know. Let's see. Knight of Discs. There must be some Virgos out there because this card comes up for nearly every reading, and I usually associate this with Virgo energy. So it's taking your time, moving slow. Maybe this is pertaining to that. Maybe having to do with. I think Virgo or another Earth sign could just be an Earth energy. Maybe 2 days. But if it's not Virgo, then Taurus, Capricorn. Kind of feel like it's like this by that, it's maybe you have like, yeah, Saturn and Sagittarius or Virgo up in the 10th house or something like that. So I feel like this is the cross section between these 2 cards. Maybe you were coming across someone of this energy, Earth energy sign, or just needing to take your time with this transition. And it could also be 10 plus 2, 12. Yeah, so universe is on the bottom here, so maybe I'll do the globe next. I love this card, it's so pretty. Anyways. Get a location. I haven't done this in a while, let's see. It's the ocean. Pacific Ocean. Maybe that is important. I'll do one more with my other hand. Sometimes I think of your left hand as receptive, right hand is action. So if energy's coming in, maybe you switch it up. Really feeling that was the Pacific Ocean again that I was heading towards. I wasn't. Maybe I'll just feel a little bit crowded here. It's like the same spot. Yeah, so somewhere over here. To the left of Mexico, and 3 times though. Equatorial current is pretty much where I keep landing, or yeah, Honolulu to Panama, like just different little indicators, but I don't know, maybe there's something around here that's happening in you're traveling. I don't know. Sometimes things come through that they don't make sense to me. They have nothing, and I find out later something completely I would have never thought of. So, yeah. Let's see. Pulling from this deck, Robin Wood. Oh, that's weird. That's the Two of Swords again. So this is a different symbolism. It's like, I just want to say, cross your heart, hope to die, but not really. It sometimes can just mean like blocking something off, or like protecting your heart, protecting something, just needing to either open up depending on how it came out. I just see the moon. The moon stands out to me the most. So again, maybe equatorial current, the moon and tides, maybe that's important. Maybe there's like, the clouds also stand out to me, and she's blindfolded. It's usually like having to rely on your other senses, like your eyes are closed, you can't see, having to, like, I think of some sort of like taekwondo sort of exercises. So whatever that means to you, but it could be 2 days, again, 2 letters, 2 times, 2 words, 2 something. Maybe to you or for you. Maybe something's for someone, or you have, 4 degrees for something. Let's see how it works out for you, but this is seen through something, again, just like kind of crossroads, or maybe running into someone, or crossing paths, cross section, again, equatorial, like the equator, the cross section, midsection, in between, seeing through something, finding the clear way through. Swords is on the bottom. She came up in the last reading, and there's the 4 of Wands beneath that. So, yeah, you should make your own associations with things. So something is probably affecting your something. What I'm trying to say is that, like, you make your own associations. When I see this card, I think of my sun sign. So, and that's 4 degrees, but 4. Maybe, yeah, I mean, I pretty much landed between the North Pacific and the South Pacific, so the equator. Maybe I will put these up like this. New, this little thing, so we'll see if this works. feel like I need more space. Maybe this over here. Alright, thanks. Alright, okay. I'm going to pull one from this deck. Rider Waite. Further clarity on maybe it's, again, midpoints, finding the common ground with something. This is like brush strokes. I also think of tides and brush strokes, and in the background, the clouds. Not relying on sight. Maybe we're trying to hear or listen for the answer, listen to what makes you maybe feel safe. I don't know where that came from. Further clarity on Knight of Discs, Ten of Wands, and Two Swords. Emperor. So, this is Major Arcana, Emperor. Someone has a lot of different meanings. I mean, it could just be, I think of home immediately for some reason. But it's number 4. That's why I think of home, 4th house. But it can just be someone who's in charge. It could be like father figure, your dad. Just someone who maybe you look up to, someone who has, I just want to say, like the right answers, or has good advice, someone you go to that just has a very grounded, but usually associate Capricorn, Taurus, or Aries with this. Let's see, Aries, the ram, but there's a lot of different meanings. I forget what he's holding, but it always looks like some sort of like, what are they called? Canteen? For some reason, like a gold canteen. Like a clutch purse, even though it's not. And it's kind of the opposite, because he's usually representative of like military, or like someone who just like, general, someone who's in charge, so you wouldn't be holding a gold clutch. But that's what it reminds me of, like maybe purses designed after military, sort of canteen, things like that. I don't know what else they carry, but yeah, so it's like the drapey and just sort of, like fall outerwear for men. That's more like big scarves. Like, I'm sure there's something like that out there, but maybe more is like intentional or something like that. Yeah. So. But again, 4. What is the meaning of that? Or well, I kind of think of the I Ching too, because how you do it is, my own personal idea, with theory that this is how people should, if it was up to me, I know people are probably going to laugh at this, but like, healthcare system, it seems like the most simple solution, like to base it off of an ancient system like I Ching, where, you end up having 2 trigrams that make up a hexagram, and each side of the coin, you know, is its own, like, pre-existing healthcare, not pre-existing healthcare, you know, each has an option, and then all these different combinations end up making up 64 different options. But really, it's just, yeah, you'll see. Maybe that's what it's talking about. Let's see. Further clarity on the Emperor. Two of Pentacles, and there's like two of everything. So this is connecting the dots. This is finding the linkages, finding the connection, the overlap, the midpoint, the two sides of each coin, options, balancing finances, checks and balances, I think of, but maybe more so with like Libra. Could have to do with finances, doesn't always, could just mean weighing your options. Sometimes this card just pops out when someone says why or how, you know. So it's just sort of like weighing your options and getting off on the right foot and finding the connection, finding the link, how two things go together, keeping balanced. Like raw hems. Two by two, 4 by 4. Anything else from this? Whoa. 4 is on the bottom here too. 4 of Cups. This is the King of Cups. So this is so all these different meanings come through usually when I'm, you know, not trying, and I always think I'll remember and then I never do. But this is someone who's either, it could be a person, doesn't have to be, it can just be the energy again, but water sign, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. I think of memory, finding some sort of searching your subconscious, memory depths of something, or finding solid ground within like sort of turbulent waters of emotion. Usually this is like family man. This is like the typical dad that you think of, you know, like very loving, very supportive, very helpful, very caring. Again, those is general, so it can apply to women as well. Just keep all these things in mind. Like his necklace, little fish necklace. This is someone who, I mean, again, reverse could be someone who's kind of emotionally manipulative, maybe a little bit unsteady. But what a people. It's like all the different like ribbons of color. Again, maybe something, the ocean, Pacific Ocean. All the different ribbons of color of the waves, wavelengths. Getting on the same wavelength with someone or something. Riding the wave. Is that your wave? Is that not your wave? You know, that kind of thing. What am I thinking of? Maybe those like bracelets used to make us like kids, you know, they were like rubber strings or something, and you like had 4, yeah, it was like a woven, like weave sort of thing. So you had like, I don't remember how you started, but you made these like kind of square basket weave in like lower school, middle school, and like just like had 2 that would come over, and then you would like weave or something like that. That's what that reminds me of. So woven, woven baskets, woven rugs woven, woven water. I don't know, we'll see. See what comes of all of this. But, okay, let's move on. Maybe I'll pull some from the Art of Life. Art of Life Tarot. For their clarity, 5 of Cups. Better by far, you should forget and smile than you should remember and be sad. Christina Rossetti, Collar Heron, Sir John Everett Millay, 19th century. Someone like sitting, contemplating. 5 of Cups, you know, it's a change. It's some sort of emotional change, way of looking at things, turning around, seeing something in a different way, different light. It's like when 3 things have spilled, 3 cups have spilled over usually. And that's where you're focusing your energy, and it's saying to, you know, cup half full, half empty kind of thing. There's still 2 full cups, there's still hope, there's just requires you to change your perceptions, to turn around, change your direction. That's why I have Justin Timberlake's Cry Me a River there, because it's usually a guy that's like, you know, in all dark, like standing by a river, like crying over something, and it's like crying over spilled milk kind of thing. Not to say that whatever it's maybe difficult or something like that you've gone through, or are going through, or undergoing right now, but just to say that there's always light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing, and it just, you know, everything's temporary, everything's change. Emotions flux, ebb and flow. 5 cups also, you know, could be, a lot of times I think of like as further clarity on something, like especially if like a card like this comes up, maybe a water sign with 5 letters in their name. Always check out your moon and rising signs too, or ascendant signs, just depending on what you're interested in. Yeah, so possibly a change in how you are seeing things right now. Change in direction. Just a lot of like, you know, eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. Better by far that you should forget and smile than you should remember and be sad. A changeover, you know, change in how you feel about someone or something, where things are headed, change in currents, clarity. Knight of Wands. The real voyage, this has been coming up too a lot, the real voyage of discovery lies not in finding new landscapes, but in having new eyes. Marine, detailed by Edward Villard, 1906. So again, a lot of water and all these like ups and downs, waves, sailboat. Knight of Wands though, usually a Sagittarius or another fire sign, Aries or Leo. Or just that fiery energy, someone who kind of rushes into things maybe a little bit, but is mainly just excited about things to get things off the ground and going, and energetic. It's kind of the opposite of what this painting is, so maybe finding some calm somewhere you can think, get away. Somewhere by the beach. was the Death card on the bottom? I really don't like the Death card in this deck. The quote scares me. Hopefully there's nothing like that happening. Let's see, what else? What else? Ooh. King of Cups again. Oh my gosh. It is a good thing to be rich and to be strong, but it is a better thing to be loved. Self-Portrait by Paul Gauguin, 1889, Bibliothèque d'Arts Décoratifs, Paris, France. He's like a little halo. His nose stands out to me, and he has like this green mustache. Matches the fruit. That's not bad, but it does. Let's see. So again, Knight of Cups, or King of Cups. It's funny. So, maybe there's like two, there's 4, 6. King of Cups, maybe. What do I have? Oh, I have Nick Cave, Straight to You, which I think is a sweet song. Is there anything else? So Paris. The one doesn't really give any other locations. I also think of like the Emperor, just depending on what industry you're in. I think of like Dior or Karl Lagerfeld or something with like 4 letters, but not always, just kind of strong presence, someone with a strong presence, someone that is respected, someone, these kinds of things. 5 of Swords. Sometimes I go about pitying myself, and all the time I'm being carried on great winds across the sky. Ojue, saying, Play Detreta by Claude Monet, 1883, the worst French accent. So, this is such a nice painting. It really just makes me want to be, again, kind of like sunset. I can pick this up. Just, like favorite places on earth, being by the water, this time of day, favorite time of day, landscapes, just being by, that was always just so much, something that has such an ability to be turbulent and cause damage and things like that, but being so pretty and calm and healing, almost like maybe you just need to get by the water, go where you feel at home, feel good, feel happy, peaceful. You need to get peace before. So again, another 5 though, changing the way that you look at things, or some sort of change in your thoughts, how you're thinking about something or someone. Again, it could just be 5 letters, 5 days. I have mind games there too, because 5 I often think of as like a game or a competition in general. Any sort of change, a change over from one state to the next. Good or bad, but usually it's some level of competition too, or a game. And yeah, that was kind of my own impression of what 5 of Swords can mean, mind games, playing mind games, since swords have to do with your thoughts and your speech, communication, things like that. So what welcoming back to love in that song. From John Lennon, 60s. That's the Ten of Cups. I've referenced this a few times, and I actually reminded me, the Eve video that I made, Eve's perspective, reminded me of this card with the little archway and full of flowers, and this is the Ten of Cups. Let us be grateful to people who make us happy. They are the charming gardeners who make our souls blossom. Marcel Proust, and this is Gardener's Daughter, detailed by Edward Henry Bernhardt, Wenert, 1860, private collection. Song that just popped into my head. I don't know where this came from, and I don't think I've even listened to the song in like forever. But I put Miley Cyrus Party in the USA, where she put my hands up, singing that song. So I'll put these songs below, and again, if you have time, check out the links below. Nine of Swords. So, the longer we dwell on our misfortunes, the greater is their power to harm us. Voltaire. And this is Head of a Young Woman with Tousled Hair, or Leda by Leonardo da Vinci, 1508. Gallery Nationale, Parma, Italy. Just a lovely painting. I think of Leonardo da Vinci and how just as he was coming into prominence, and this was on Ancient Aliens, but any documentary that talks about Leonardo da Vinci would talk about how, as he was coming into prominence, he disappeared for about 2 years, I think, and just kind of wandered around. And also when he was younger, he went into a cave, and in a cave, the King of Cups, I think of the Five of, the video that I have in the Five of Earth, it's a Taylor Swift video, coming out of a cave. You know, a lot of people thinking that that's where it began, cave. You can kind of find that association with a lot of things. A man coming out of the cave, going into a cave, going underground. Stalactites, stalagmites. This makes me think of Washington, D.C., which I've only been to Washington, D.C. like one time. 8th grade trip to Washington, D.C. But instead of going to the White House, they made us go into like a big cave for science, like to look at all the stalagmites and stalactites. We're all like, great, this was fun. So yeah. I also think of the underground caves in Turkey, which are really cool to go and visit. It's amazing. I mean, I feel like something like 200,000 people live down there or something. Really advanced. They don't even know how they made them, really. I mean, you can tour around in them, and it's unreal. And just all the way that they had this whole civilization organized, and how their defense system too, and just having these huge boulders that would, roll into place almost like trap doors, and how they kept all their food. And you could see this also in like the caves that they have in just different parts of Turkey that aren't just underground, but how they kept all their food cold, and how they kept their wine, and just really interesting old ancient civilizations. How they carved these things out of the rock, no one really knows. But yeah, like fresco. I'm really going all over the place now. Frescoes that were painted in these old churches within the mountainsides, and just really cool. I think of like frescoes with these too, especially with the Leonardo da Vinci's. this, and the Leda, which I mentioned before in my Odyssey description video, which people probably thought it was sounding a little crazy, but just to go into that much detail with things, but just to show how much thought went into choosing each video and how I tried to relate everything to astrology, and just so there would be that many connections. You know, if one thing connects to the next with 5 connections, that next thing should connect to the next other 5 connections, and eventually everything just starts to like build upon itself and make their own connections. And where was I going with this? But yeah, number 3, love. That is what I equate to the Leda, with her 4 kids. Mythology, 4 kids, but I also think more so of like the 4 directions of the wind, north, south, east, and west, or even the 4, you know, air, fire, water, and earth. Her 4 children, one, Helen of Troy, being representative of that myth. So yeah, Leda, 4 letters. Queen of Pentacles was on the bottom. And the High Priestess. High Priestess I now associate with Sabella, who's the guardian of gateways in ancient cultures. And somehow it just sort of worked out that way, how I have the playlist set up in order to work around the fact that I don't have, you know, there's no 0 in a playlist, so, and there is a 0 in the major arcana, so the combination between number 2 and 3, all that space between, and you can see characteristics and facets within both of those videos that also correspond to the High Priestess. Even she's like sitting between 2 pillars in typical symbolism, but in mythology, Sabella, she's guardian of gateways and travel and things like that, time travel I think of, but and she was a mixture of male and female, I think in some, but just to show the masculine, feminine facets within everyone, and light and dark and just opposites, but that's now what I think of as the High Priestess, someone who keeps the secrets of the other side and allows some people in, and allows people to see beyond the veil a little bit, and yeah, really interesting to look up information about her. Maybe I'll put a link for that below as well. So yeah, if you're interested, go and look at the little video that I did that kind of discusses the Odyssey a little bit more in detail. What was so strange about that was that, yes, I did compare it to my birth chart, and it's very weird. I mean, my information is saved on that astrological site, and I base this whole playlist on the fact that my moon sign is at 29 degrees, and all these things, and I didn't even realize at the time, but and everything else is the same. Everything else is the same degrees, time, all that. Somehow, just for that day, because I've since gone back and looked up my chart again and see, well, maybe moon signs can change. I don't know. I've since gone back and my moon sign's back to 29 degrees. So just for that day, decided to go to 0 degrees Gemini, which I feel like worked out because we've talked so much about the being at the 0 point and the Fool and all these things. So how strange is that, though? Yeah, I mean, you could even compare it to other places that I've shown my chart. I mean, everything else is exactly the same. I have absolutely no idea. Very weird. Yeah. So, sometimes I feel like I'm figuring all this out with you guys. Yeah. Bluebird. Hawk. I haven't gotten, maybe I have, I don't know. Swallow. I'll leave these out. I wasn't really focused. Let's try this again. God. Chickadee. 4. I'll read that one. Eagles on the bottom. I love these bird cards. They're all birds. All just like really pretty. How funny is it that I've looked up one of my family's names that I've spoken about here, and it actually means raven. How weird is that? I mean, I feel like people can probably tell that all of this was, I mean, like I've said, it's all very real. I try to turn it into a dialogue, a narrative, and some sort of artistic expression, but it's amazing to me. It's all seems to have been set up for this very purpose. I mean, everything down to the very smallest detail and the lyrics of the videos that I just happened to choose, and like the Wheel of Fortune, which I have the Smashing Pumpkins, Tonight, and this is the Odyssey playlist that I'm referring to. I feel like most people probably know that by now, but if you're new here, welcome, and I have the links for that below and the expanded details, and it's the major arcana representations and music videos. But yeah, even that song's the lyrics are like, in the city by the lake, the place where you were born. Literally, I mean, we're here in Chicago, by Lake Michigan. I grew up across from the lake, which is what I think of when I see this like Knight of Wands card. It reminds me of the lakefront here in Chicago. Yeah, everything just sort of came together to perfectly support everything, and I don't know, it's weird. So let's see. Oh, Chickadee. I am Chickadee, the discernment of right action. I am pure thought and fearless truth. I am the resolution to assert myself and express myself. I am undaunted curiosity. Everyone has a plan to fulfill, and I'm the beacon to help carry it out. Not every destiny is grand. Not everyone can make the headlines. Each of us, though, carries something or someone along just by presence. I think I mentioned presence before. You need to pay attention. You are forgetting your irreplaceable role. I am everywhere because I am curious to see the world play out. I watch to see how things work. I observe and find a way in. I do what my nature insists that I do and savor my unique imprint. It is time to let your actions do the talking and finish what you have started. You are unyielding. You are boldness of inspiration. You are purpose. You are Chickadee. I'll read Hawk 2, 15. There's so much going on in all these cards. Like, you can see what stands out to you. I just see all the faces in the clouds. It almost looks like a tornado or something like that. I am Hawk, the majestic and visionary. I am the eyes of the gods. I am the whole picture. I have keen sight, seen everything from every angle. I can see how today shapes tomorrow and how my future steers today. I am advantage and strategy. I have always come prepared. If I am circling overhead, it is because you are not yet aligned with your future. Your path is off balance, your motivations uncentered, and your higher mind misaligned. To be a visionary takes much more than seeing the path ahead. You must construct it, shape it, and ensure it spans far enough to complete your task. Does your current way of doing things support what you seek to accomplish? If not, change course. There you go, there's all these changes. Change course and create a new path. I encourage you to take a look at what drives you. There you go. You are perceptivity. You are the eyes of the universe. You are foresight. You are hawk. That's nice. I think a lot of these things have been coming up lately. Yeah, constructing, shaping your path forward. Again, understanding how cycles and everything works and being the change that you want to see happen. Asking yourself what that change is, asking what you want to see happen, your path, what's motivating you, what drives you, what moves you forward, what makes you want to do something. What are those X factors, those things? X factors are the Two of Swords. Let's see, and Bluebird. Hopefully these words just inspire you or get your, the wheels turning and getting you to think about something in a new way, maybe. Feels like a very big cape, feather. Reminds me of one of the videos that had like feathers. It was the Katy Perry video. And again, I hope people understand that a lot of these videos I choose because this is like a new form of forecasting as well, fashion forecasting. All the different, again, angles, fabrics, looks, aesthetics, makeup, hair, set design, everything. Lots of different options, and I try to, to some degree, curate it and figure out the best way for all of the information that kind of makes sense and connect the dots and find those connections for you. And then I'm sure there's tons more that I hope people find for themselves and can find a lot of inspiration in the fashions, in the different lyrics, songs, all of the mood, everything. So it's kind of like a different form of magazine, I guess you'd say, too. A lot of these, the details and the links and things that I put below in the expanded details, that it's kind of like a double feature, I guess you'd say, for these messages, too, that further expand on the imagery and the symbolism and just the connections that I think of while doing these readings. It's really interesting. So that, yeah, it kind of becomes a sort of like moving magazine, the same sorts of things, fashion, concepts, ideas, all of it come together. So, Bluebird. I am Bluebird, the freedom of inner peace. There you go, peace. I am the joy of letting go. I am the serenity of acceptance. I am the flight of the heart when all is at ease. Life is tranquil now, or is bringing in calmer tides. Take a breath, enjoy the free air. You've earned the comfort of a sweet, well-timed repose. I am the transition into a better world. I am gratitude of knowing the worst is over. I am life at its finest. We all need to confront the darkness in order to truly see the light. I am your passage of enlightenment and the break from all entanglements. There will always be discomforts and the heavy weight of time, but I am the gift of release and the playfulness of youth. There is something magical in freeing the soul. There is something dignified in spreading your wings. You are the resurgence of vitality. You are whimsical. You are carefree. You are a Bluebird. So letting go, again with that like 10 of Wands, letting the burdens of things go, fall away, that just keep you down, keep you back, and finding peace. Transition, change, entering a better world. Again, I mean, all these things, it's great. Passage to enlightenment, I think the sun video. Finding your way through discomfort, through, it doesn't even mention heavy weight of time. And I think of time and space, Adam and Eve, all these metaphors for the bigger picture, it's like, it's kind of beautiful if you think about it in that way. I think it would be like Eve is time, Adam, space. It could go both ways, I guess. But yeah, so that's fun. Let's see. I'll end with an oracle card. There's so many things I want to do. Oh, my cat's here. I didn't see him. By the way, if you have a cat, you could plant some cat mint. It's not catnip, it's cat mint. It's really healthy for them, and they just love it. It's, I guess, similar to catnip, but it helps their breath too. It's just like really good. You can grow it in your garden, tons of it. My cat will just sit there and like chew on it for like an hour. He loves it. It's fresh and it's good for them. So let's see. Maybe I'll do the I Ching now. Make some room here. I'm gonna have to move this cat. See if you can see. He's like, what's going on? This is a better way. I feel like a teacher right now. So, where'd my little marker go? I'll hold this up at the end. So basically, if you have 3 coins, you only need 3 coins of the same denomination, or heads and tails. Can be anything. Pennies, I just randomly picked these out of a chest. Where are these from? Oh, these are clones from Costa Rica, República de Costa Rica. And so just the different combinations. You either get a broken line or a solid line. So, gotta think of a question. Let's see, just for kicks, what will be the outcome of the healthcare bill that they're trying to vote on tonight or today? I haven't looked it up, so I don't know. Or what should be the outcome or advice for that? Two tails, one head. So you have a solid line. One tail, 2 heads. It's a broken line. Scissors. 2 tails, 1 head. So that is your first trigram. You do it another time, do it 6 times. That is 2 tails, 1 head again. Oops, I think this was, yeah. There you go. Three heads, so that's a changing line. And that is 3 tails, another changing line. So these are your, let's try to show this to you. So you get your changing lines here, and so you create a new hexagram. So it's 1, 2. It's really hard to do. And So this solid line that changes becomes a broken line. This broken line that changes becomes a solid line. So you have solid, broken, solid, solid, broken, solid, and then you look it up. Which I did not. I'll have to do it on my screen. You can look it up online. And then again, there's 64 different options within those. Peanut. So yeah, you look it up and you have the lower trigram here and the upper trigram there. And both of them are solid, broken, solid. And that gives you $30. And then it ends up being clinging like fire. Actually, that's funny. That is the imagery that I took a picture of and have on my Instagram. And so then it gives you changing line interpretations. And since these go from foundation up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 5 and 6 that we're changing. So that's what you would read on top of the main divination. And this talks about clarity of vision can empower you to penetrate the veil of life's illusions. And then changing line 6 is discipline that's too severe, like and we did get punishment. There's oppression, the 10 of Wands. This cat is so annoying. I'll put the link for that below as well. And yeah, you can try it at home. You can try it for yourself. Just 3 coins and just a bunch of changing lines. So let's see. This is the Rumi Oracle deck. To sum up this reading. Victory of Marianne. I don't know if that was supposed to come out. I like the one on the bottom better. You wouldn't believe it. It's number 30. Whirling Goddess. Let's read that one. And she just looks like she's part, again, of all this, like, smoke and, like, gases and colorful, like, fluidity and morphine of colors. And she's taking shape, taking form. These are pretty long, so I'll just probably read the first beginning part of it. Whirling Goddess. Lose your head. Not a single thread that has a head can go through the eye of the needle. That is the little poem. This beginning part here, like introductory, says, "Come, my love, are you dizzy yet? If you can still find your feet, then that is okay with me. But if you can still find your head, then I will take issue. There is a great dance, but it cannot be danced with choreographed steps. No, this great dance demands a response rather than an initiation, a reaction rather than direction. So let us dissemble and lose our heads to the great music, the rhythm held steady in our beating hearts. It's not a beating heart, baby. Head automatica. Our feet shall be moving whilst our minds inadequate to the task. Take the night off. So maybe you just need a break. Taking the night off, letting things change around you. There's somewhere you are meant to be. It is here, now, in this moment. There's a gift right under your nose and a fragrant wine in your glass. I think I did mention wine and how they kept it cold in these ancient times. Gleaming red is the most precious rubies. That's funny. After that last creative reading, I pulled from this deck, and it said something about rubies and wanting the best rubies or something. And I went and got this like raw ruby, which I kind of like. To be here now, you must pass through the keyhole, but your head will tell you that this is not possible unless the door is unlocked, even though your body is passing through the keyhole of that locked door into endless world beyond. Leave your mind to be in its struggles for a moment. Without you laying witness to it, your mind will become like a dog, howling for its master's return. Even as he steps out of the front door, frustrated temporarily, he will chew on some shoes, then fall asleep peacefully until his master returns. So leave your mind trusting, chewing a little, until you are truly through the keyhole, when it can rest. Leave it be, instead come dance with me. This oracle brings you a message. You are at the point of growth where your mind can hold you back rather than urge you forward. If you have, like so many, used your mind to support you, to shore up your sense of self in the world and to gain a sense of certainty about how the world works, then this is no easy leap. It will seem as though you are being asked to pass through a keyhole. Of course, your mind will stop and argue for all the reasons why the door should be opened instead of remaining closed, making the task seem so much harder than it needs to be. But this is the mind of resistance. Don't place too much stock in the claims that life should be other than it is. You are being asked to dance rather than understand, to lay thoughts to rest and to come alive. It is the bravest, most trusting soul that dares put the mind to one side and say, tonight we dance, my heart and I, in the great rousing music of a beloved's beating heart, and I will not miss one step, and to awaken the next day and do that all over again and again and again. You are ready to see, sweet soul dancer. You are ready to live beyond what you know, to have it not matter if you don't understand how life can work itself out, or how it could be that someone so normal and ordinary as you and I could also be so magnificent, wild and divine. The need for answers and plans, assurances and explanations is passing out of your world now. You are not to wait for permission, for explanation, or even for another dance partner, for I am already inviting you to the great dance floor. You are to let go of any stigma around not knowing. When someone asks you what you are going to do next or how you are going to manage, you are given this divine mandate. With relish, reveal. These are really long. Oh no. With relish, reveal the truth. I do not know. Know nothing and dance, sweet soul, for all will unveil itself to you in perfect harmony and timing. Your heart shall create the steps in response to the music of the spheres, happening now, alive and spontaneous and free. This oracle brings you a special message. I think I need to have some glass of water. If there is an issue, apparently unsolvable and unknowable, in your life now, the divine is handling it. The divine is in the middle of it, working through the knot and unraveling it. So fear not, do the sacred ritual, and give yourself permission to take the night off from worry. Repeat this heavenly prescription daily, as needed. So don't worry, everything's going to be okay, and let things work themselves out. Usually I feel like when we don't try, it's when things sort of just happen around us, and they usually work out for the better anyways. So allowing yourself some time, some space, to get to the beach, to go where you find peace and enjoyment and a connection, I feel like, to the divine, also to cosmos, to the universe, to whatever it is that you believe in, and yeah, just feel your part in it and see how that can then turn into something beautiful and creative and quite all-encompassing. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed the reading, and if you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!